You guys can continue eating, just kind of quiet, because we're going to start and let Jack tell his story. Now, for some of you that don't know this, I've known Jack since I've been here, and he's been commander, past commander. He's been Legionnaire of the Year. He's been District 6 Legionnaire of the Year. And he's been a continuous member of this post for 77 years. 67 years, which is older than Connie. So he wrote me his story when I used to do the newsletter, and he has a pretty interesting story. And I'll tell you a little segment of it, and then he can fill in the rest of it. But on one of his trips coming back from Europe with wounded soldiers on his ship, he was torpedoed. So, Jack, let's hear your story. Thank you.
Well, my name is Jack Walsh. I was born February 14, 1927. So I'm a Valentine baby. My mother was proud of that. The only thing is she wanted a girl and she got a boy. But anyway, over my years, during the Depression days, it was kind of rough there before the Japs brought the bomb on Hawaii and Pearl Harbor. So things were pretty rough. I remember eating a lot of sick beans and a lot of stuff like that. So we lived on a little farm out there on Babbitt Road. At that time it was called Cornmeal Avenue. And I know they had a place in New Albany where we could go once every 2 weeks to get some cornmeal, sometimes some day-old bread, sometimes get some sugar and stuff like that, which is necessities you needed, but it's hard to raise out on a farm. But we was lucky. We did have a little farm. We raised a couple of cows, a couple of hogs, a few chickens, sometimes some ducks and some geese. But anyway, everything went on fine. So my dad was on the railroad and he got hurt with the Norfolk and Western Railroad. So after that there, he lost his job. So things were pretty rough. So I remember a lot of times we didn't have a whole lot of money to spend. And I remember many days going to New Albany High School. I was in grade school yet then. When your peanut butter sandwich was a nice thing to eat on noon. You see some of them guys got a little money and they'd have some nice cupcakes and all that. So you do have to trade for a cupcake. That was one of my lifetime's joys, you know. Anyway, I went through pretty good. And then when I hit 14 years old, that's about the time the Japs bombed Pearl Harbor. So I remember my mother turned the radio on, and that radio was on probably 12, 14 hours a day, just to see what was going to happen. So anyway, I was in school, and I went to school the next Monday after the Japs bombed Pearl Harbor. And that was the thing going around. So all the teachers had a teacher's lounge up next to the superintendent's office, so they could go in that office all the time and come back and tell us classmates what was going on in the war. So I'll never forget when they said, when President Delano Roosevelt made that speech about this is the case of infirmity for the world to see, and we are going to win this war. So anyway, it went pretty good. So then it got to be when my dad, he finally got a job at Walsh Steel Car Company in East Columbus. That was about 2 years before the war started. And he came home one day and he said, after Jeff bombed Pearl Harbor, he said, well, Midge, I'm off for about a week. And I don't know what's going to happen. We'll be back in about a week. And what's going to happen is we got back and he said, what we're doing, we're making bomb cases. They've been making railroad cars. So that shows you how quick we can get ready for the war. So after that there, and me and my buddy, I was driving a milk truck for Walter Farber, going to school. We worked together in depot 5 nights a week from 6 o'clock to midnight. I was on a job loading up boxcars to send military supplies to the East Coast to the West Coast. And I was very fortunate because I had a chauffeur's license. So I got to drive the fork truck. I didn't have to do all the hard labor. But I built service on them guys, like Bill Cunningham, Bob Dickendasher. So after a while, we got to talking. They turned 17, about the time I did. They said, let's go into service. So we went in the old post office, stayed in 3rd. I got a little peril to drive my milk truck on a Saturday. Went in there, went to the Army, went to the Navy. The guy said, you got to have both parents signature because you're not 18 years old. So I went to the Coast Guard. That guy said, you need one parent signature. We looked at them guys, the Coast Guard and the Navy all looked alike. So anyway, we all 3 signed up in the Coast Guard. After about 6 weeks of boot camp in Manhattan Beach, New York, we got this dish to report to the quarterdeck, everybody S division. So there was 21 of us in S division. So we went to the quarterdeck, said, bring your seat bags and all your gear. So we get separate about 9 o'clock. So the call-ups names, Bill Cunningham and Bob Dickendash got called. Bob, he was going to go to Louisiana, and Wichita was going to go to Savannah, Georgia. He said, well, Walsh, you'll probably get stuck here another 6 weeks or so. So anyway, that afternoon, I got a call. Me and Joey Pelusi got a call to report to the quarterdeck with full gear. Went up there, some guy met us in an old Jeep. He said, come on, fellas, I'm going to take you to the ship you're going on. And so we went to Pier 42, New York. There was a General W.P. Rush's there, troop ship, could carry 10,000 GIs, and we had about 1,100 guys to man the ship. So we pulled in that harbor, to see that ship. He said, let me give you a little word of advice. When you go aboard that ship, you be sure to salute that flag the instant you enter that ship, and also you salute the order of the day. Well, we knew he was supposed to do that, but he said, they don't want you to forget, because you've been in trouble before you get started. Anyway, I got bumped out where I was supposed to be. That night about 9 o'clock, I wakes up. Bill's topside. We're already leaving the harbor. I got to see the Statue of Liberty as we're pulling out. So 2 days later, I found out we're going to Naples, Italy. So on the way to Naples, Italy, 7 days, get across the Atlantic. 3 more days, go up to the Mediterranean Sea. So we get to Naples. We sat there for about 6 hours because the ship was only up in the harbor, and they had to get a pilot to get us through the wreck ships, get us past these mines, to get us up and unload the troops. So it wasn't too long later on the day, we unloaded them troops. That night again, we takes off back for the States. We had about 300 injured GIs aboard the ship. We was coming back then to Boston, Massachusetts. So about the time we got to Boston, they don't keep you long, man. They load you right up, and your butt's on the way. So a few days later, we're back over. This time we're going to Le Havre, France. So we get to Le Havre, France, unload. So after 4 or 5 trips like that, and one time was coming back on the northern route, we was up in the North Atlantic, and somewhere along the line, we said it was about 40 miles below Greenland, when a German sub put a torpedo in the engine room number 1. Well, that knocked that out, but thank God for the bulkheads, the ship could stay afloat. If it hit midship, it'd probably suck the ship. So we made it back to Boston. Instead of running 21 knots, we were running about 8 or 9 knots. So we get to Boston. So in the meantime, we got off that ship, we got transferred to General C.H. Buer. So the C.H. Buer was a little smaller. They could only hold 8,000 troops instead of 10,000. But I made 2 more trips across the Atlantic. One time I got to go through the Suez Canal to go to Iran to pick up some military personnel there at the Iranian Sea, they called it. So on that trip, I got to go across the equator, so I got to see old Neptune. So I got my Order of the Deep. So like I said, I got to see across the equator. So on the way back, and we got the word that the V.E. Day was coming up, they thought very near future. So we got back to New York. Sure enough, V.E. Day was good, but V.J. Day did not happen yet. They said, well, you better be prepared to go to the West Coast because your butt's going to go to Japan. Well, just luck have it, the war ended before I got to go to Japan. But anyway, I got sent back to Detroit, Michigan to get my discharge. They said, well, if you stay in another 4 years, we'll give you another ranking. I was storekeeper second class. They said, we'll make you storekeeper first class. I said, no, all I want to do is go home. Then I get to Detroit, and I had about $450 in my pocket, which I saved up. And I met a guy at the bus station. He said, you waiting on the bus? Where are you going? I said, Columbus, Ohio. He said, I got a buddy of mine, got a motorcycle. You interested in a motorcycle? I said, yeah, the price is right. So he took me to this buddy's place. I ended up buying his motorcycle. There's no 1932 Harley Davidson 45. So I strapped a seatbelt on the back, and away I come from home. So a few days later, I get home. My mother said, how'd you get here? I said, that motorcycle. I said, man, I can't believe that. You spent your money for a motorcycle? I said, that's better. One way to get home. But the Lord been good to me over the years. All them years I've been in service, I got my $20 a week for 52 weeks. That's the nice thing the government gives for getting out of the service. Well, after that there, I ended up getting a race car business Fred Douglas and Richard Dixon and Bob Carpenter. So over the years, I was racing race cars, Columbus Speedway, Mount Haley Park, Zanesville, Powell Speedway. So one year we got invited to race down at Powell at the Dust Bowl, down in Portsmouth, at the Dust Bowl. So we went down Saturday afternoon, we run that Dust Bowl, and some of the drivers down there didn't like us guys from Columbus, Ohio, come up here, so they put me through the guardrail and through the fence.
Oh, no.
So I rolled down in the parking lot. This pretty little brunette come halfway down the bank and said, "You okay, Walsh?" I said, "I'm okay." So 2 weeks later, I'm at Columbus Speedway, loading my tires up after the race. This little brunette sitting on my spare tires. I said, "Not seen you someplace before?" She said, "Yeah, I'm the one checked on you down in Portsmouth. We went through the fence." Well, that was about March the 15th and March the 20th, somewhere through there. The following Halloween, we got married. She rode down the aisle on a broomstick. That's the old saying over the years. God bless her heart, she gave me before we for kids. She's a wonderful woman. And over the years, after about 47 years of married life, she had cancer. She diagnosed on March the 12th, and I was June the 23rd. She's a heck of a woman. After that, a couple years after that, I married this lovely little lady here, which I knew for years, her and her husband, we wanted to get her son. So we ended up getting married. So far, we've got 16 years of married life together. She's still got all 4 of her kids. I've got 2 of mine left, I lost 2. But Don, the Lord's been good to me. Now, you anything you want to say? You want to say nothing? She's on the clock today. She hasn't feeling too good.
Yes.
But anyway.
He said it all for me.
Yeah,
He's
she's
been
a
the
wonderful
one.
woman. I love her dearly, but over the years, you know, after you lose a son, you lose a daughter, it's kind of rough, you know. I tell her, thank God you still got all 4 of your kids. You got to think about it every day. But you know, me being a guy that lives in Johnstown, Ohio, I love the community of Johnstown. I love all you Legion, Legion celebrating the Sons of the Legion, all your families. You're a great group, and I love you all. I thank you.
We love you too.
I just want to say that I've been married to him for so many years that I really love him. He's the most wonderful guy I ever met in my life, besides my first husband.
Also, I want to thank Connie for this wonderful time together today. And all you people for coming to my party, this is great. Thank you for the lovely food. And it's just nice being here. You all been great, and I love you all. Thank you.
I want to say thank you for everybody and everything that you have helped us do.